Hey guys, welcome to Main Street Living. I am Quincy Carr.
And I am Valerie Tutson.
And I'm Brandy Paul. All right, guys, so I have a big question for you as we kick off this week's show. I work for Westside Community Schools in Omaha, Nebraska. Great place to be. We had 7 students get to show off their own designs at Omaha Fashion Week this week. Awesome. I just love it. The science that goes behind what these students create and how they put it all together. I love that kids have so many different options on what they can study these days. It's great.
Yeah, obviously things have changed. I think I remember when I was in, it had to have been the 6th or 7th grade, we created a tornado, because where I lived in Texas, it wasn't really Tornado Alley, but we would take a jar and have I think soap, and then soap and water, right? And then we would spin it around and the soap would twirl and kind of create a tornado. So that was the coolest thing that I ever did. The rest of the time I was just being a class clown.
Wow, surprise, right? Well, I love it. I love that you said the science behind the Fashion Week and that you were talking about a science experiment because, honestly, science was not really my thing as a kid. I have friends who are doing such cool things with science these days, but I always loved that creativity part,
Hold up. Valerie, you never did the planets. Every kid probably did the planets, right?
I don't have a memory of it. Oh, you mean
what were you doing?
Like the styrofoam balls and the hanger thing?
Yeah. So that's a no. Did you ever do the planets, Brandy?
I seem to remember like a Nerf ball and then a cheese puff. Yeah, I'm with you.
Got you. Well, you know what? I hope that those of you who are tuning in today, I hope that you are well rested for today's show. We got a lot of interesting topics, including there's a pillow out there that you have to see to believe is going to help you guys get better sleep.
And after you sleep, you're going to want a good meal. We've got cowboy stew, and you're going to want to find out about some curling.
And it all circles back to science. So many different things. One of the nation's biggest festivals to get kids interested. And one of the key features there from Solve Energy. All of that coming up next. Let's talk about STEAM.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Over the past few years, we've heard a lot about STEAM in education, a little different from the STEM, right? And I really love this because STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, subjects that every student should study as part of a well-rounded education.
That's right, Valerie. Sara Pagano is on a mission to get kids excited about STEAM, and she joins us to talk about that and why it is so important. So welcome to the show, Sara. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, getting right to it, now you are with Generation STEAM. So what is that and what's your goal?
Yeah, Generation STEAM is a nonprofit organization, and we have a mission to empower the next generation of STEAM visionaries through education and exploration. And we do that work primarily in the K-12 space. We work directly with classrooms and teachers and many community partners as well to deliver those services.
Oh, nice.
And you're going to be part of a pretty amazing event coming up, it sounds like, Saturday, March 4th, Petco Park. A lot better than baseball. I mean, baseball is pretty great, but this is even better. Tell us about the San Diego Festival of Science and Engineering.
Yes, we're so excited. We're going into our 15th year this year. And the last couple of years, we've had to change up, the look of the festival based on COVID. And it was great. We had a lot of wonderful attendees virtually and last year with events across the county as well that were smaller. But we're really excited to be back at Petco Park for Expo Day. And just, get everybody back out and together again and celebrating STEAM right here in San Diego.
Wow. So let's talk about some of the activities that will be happening at the festival. It sounds like a lot to do.
There is so much to do. We have over 100 different hands-on activity booths.
Yeah.
We will also have stages with performances. We have a main stage in Gallagher Square. We also have a stage that's on the dugout. So that's pretty cool inside the park itself. The dugout stage will have student speakers throughout the day from Cajon Valley's TED Ed group. And it's like mini versions of the TEDx talk. They're amazing students. It's great to go out there and see them practice their public speaking. We'll also have some performances on that stage from one of our favorites, Music Notes, and we have a few other STEM concerts that'll be happening on that stage. And then on the main stage, you can see all kinds of cool things, rockets and robots and explosions throughout the day, answering lots of cool questions. And actually, Channel 10 is our MC for that stage. So you'll get to see some familiar faces as well on the stages. And then throughout the day, I mean, you can just walk throughout Gallagher Square, which is the park inside the park. You can walk through the concourse, and there'll be something for everybody of every age.
Even in the dugout. I just got this visual of Fernando Tatis and Eric Hosmer doing a science experiment when they come back to the ballpark, something that was left behind. All right, you mentioned K through 12. They love it. Yes. You mentioned K through 12, but is the festival geared toward any particular age group?
We like to say pre-K to gray, and that is encouraging people to come down as a family and engage together, because we think that is really important from an education perspective to be able to engage in these activities as a family and as a group. We actually have a pre-K zone. So for the little tots and the young learners, that is at the back of Gallagher Square, and we will have some really neat organizations out there making sure that those are younger at mind activities that are happening, as well as some face painters back there. And we have a group from La Jolla High School and Bishop's High School that have been putting together activities for the little ones. So we're really excited to have them out this year. And then, as you walk through the park, it is all ages. So a lot of the companies will put on events and activities that can be geared towards any age. So that might be one activity that changes. So you might be able to add something to it for the middle schooler and maybe a little more depth for the high schooler. So it's really great. They accommodate all ages. Additionally, we have a lot of booths that will have Spanish speaking representatives. So they'll have stickers that they're wearing that say that they speak Spanish. So if we have folks that only speak Spanish as the first language, they can look for attendees with those stickers, and they can be able to participate in the booths as well.
Nice. Now, I mean, I love that, from pre-K to gray. And it seems as though you've already gotten some notifications from people trying to buy tickets. So how can people register to get tickets to the festival?
Yes, absolutely. There is no ticket required. It is a free event, open to the public. You can come on down. It's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., rain or shine, but we've already put in our orders for shine. So it's going to be a beautiful day. We have our presenting sponsor, the Illumina Corporate Foundation, coming back. They have a huge installation at Gallagher Square where they will be taking over with genomics education and all kinds of activities about DNA and learning. And we're really excited to have them back. We have a new sponsor this year, Solve, and they will be taking over the Sun Deck. So Solve Energy, and lots of really cool activities that actually will go back into the classroom. So if you participate in their booth, you know that the impact is going to continue forward for many students to come as well.
And why is that so important? Why is it so vital that we get kids excited or at least learning more about STEAM?
Well, I think especially here in San Diego, there's so much innovation. There's so many companies, there's research organizations, colleges, and universities. A lot of people don't even realize they're here. And these companies and organizations are doing work here in San Diego, but they're impacting us on a global scale. So being able to learn what's here in your backyard, what you might have a future path for yourself, and that you could actually go to school here. We love San Diego. We love the paying the paradise tax and being sunshine here in San Diego. So you can stay here. You can go to school here. You can do research here, get a job here, and be a part of the economic growth here in San Diego, which I think is really important. Additionally, with events like this, it's exposure for students to see people that look like them, that they may not see in their schools, activities they may not have access to in their schools. So it's just a wonderful opportunity to expose them to experiences that they may not otherwise have.
Well, look at you guys. You guys are doing some very remarkable things. And so before we get out of here, you got to let people know where they can find more information about this big event.
Thank you. Yes, lovestemsd.org For all the details, go to the Expo Day page, and everything you need to know about parking discounts, lunches, what to pack, what to wear, where to go when you get there. It's all on our website.
There you
Love
go.
it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Great information. And we have more info still to come. How to find your perfect pillow.
I need that.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. We're learning more and more about the importance of sleep. Health professionals are now saying that getting enough rest is just as important as eating a nutritious diet and exercising. Wow.
I totally believe that. And I also know there are a lot of reasons why we might not be sleeping enough. Maybe you have shoulder pain or acid reflux, and it can be difficult to sleep because you just can't get comfortable.
Well, I know a little bit about that, ladies, and if that sounds familiar to any of you out there watching, listen up, because we may have just found your perfect pillow. Check this out.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments, shoulder pain, back pain, which can prevent a restful night's sleep. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with.
It took maybe a couple nights to get used to the shape and feel of the product, but since then I've had no back pain, no neck pain, and no issues with my acid reflux keeping me awake.
MedCline systems comprise 3 components: an elevated wedge, an insert pillow allowing for comfort of the head, and a full-length body pillow. That body pillow is very important because it allows for a patient to stay on their side throughout the night, allows them to easily switch sides, and most notably allows them to stay elevated on the bed wedge without sliding down during the middle of the night.
When I go to bed at night, I don't get sick anymore. I don't slide off the pillow. It's large enough where I don't slide down.
The MedCline Reflex Relief System has been clinically studied. We have published to date 8 clinical studies, most notably in partnership with the Cleveland Sleep Clinic. And those have shown statistical significance of a benefit of using the MedCline sleep system to help reduce overall nocturnal reflux.
Now that I have the MedCline, I can sleep through the night. I don't get up and have those gaps. And
you don't have to worry about taking medication and all of the side effects that go along with that.
Given the success of our reflux relief system, we noticed that patients were purchasing MedCline systems for reasons beyond heartburn and acid reflux. We then specifically developed a system unique for those suffering from shoulder pain.
And now I can put my arm underneath and have my head up here, and I get no pressure on my shoulder, and I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'm not hurting anymore.
MedCline systems are registered with the FDA as a medical device. And as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds, which is a common way that many of our customers purchase MedCline systems. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Stretching out my neck just watching that. I need one of these pillows.
Yeah, you and me both, Brandy. I'm struggling getting sleep myself. Now, you guys out there watching can find out more about the MedCline sleep systems on their website, medcline.com.
Up next, here comes the sun.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Valerie, Brandy, it is a very exciting thing to see that every year clean energy options are becoming more available to more people.
That is right. And Solve Energy is all about working together to make a brighter future with better energy. Let's welcome Jennifer Hirschman.
Hi, good morning, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to talk more about Solve Energy, what we do, and supporting this amazing event that's coming up in a couple weeks.
It is so great to have you, Jennifer. And so you are with Solve Energy. Would you give us an overview of what Solve Energy is?
Sure. Solve Energy is the largest utility scale solar services company in North America, founded in 2007. We have a growing team of over 2,000 employees. Our main office is here in San Diego, and we have offices in Bend, Oregon, and Raleigh, North Carolina. We design, engineer, procure, and build utility scale solar power plants across the country, and to date have constructed over 10 gigawatts. We offer in-house operations and maintenance and construction management services for solar, wind, and battery projects, along with high voltage testing services. We also have a 7,000 square foot operations and control center staffed 24/7, 365 days a year, overseeing 11 gigawatts of energy and over 400 renewable energy power plants. We are also a very technology-driven organization, creating proprietary software to manage our projects in the field and in our operations control center, such as Sunscreen and Vitals.
Wow, so much great information. And some of that, I know the education part, you guys are trying to get to young people. Why is that so important?
So at Solve Energy, our mission is to make a positive difference wherever we go through projects that generate good energy for people and the planet. Our community relations focus supports education and environmental justice because everyone should have equal opportunities to learn and have access to clean, affordable power. STEAM education in particular plays a very important role in our industry. And by supporting these types of events, it enables us to really connect with the communities and share about our commitment to creating a brighter future and all of the great career opportunities in the renewable energy industry.
So you talk about supporting events, and we know that Solve Energy is a platinum sponsor of the San Diego Festival of Science and Engineering, which is going to happen Saturday, March 4th at Petco Park, which I just learned is the home of what, the Dodgers? Is that, did I say it right? I meant Padres. Padres. I know. But it's a big expo and a very important one. So why did Solve Energy decide to support this expo?
Well, first, we're super excited to be their platinum sponsor this year, and we love working with Biocom. All of their STEAM events are so well organized and offer the best in this type of education. We've partnered with them on several events and always had a really great time. They had approached us to sponsor the fair in the past, but we were in early development phases of creating our own education program called Power Up. So the timing just wasn't right. But we wanted to make sure we had a fun and engaging booth with an activity that students could really learn about solar power. We worked with one of our nonprofit partners, SEI, to create our STEAM lessons, tested them out to several age groups to ensure they were student and teacher approved. We've had really positive feedback and continue to develop new activities. So when Biocom approached us again this year, it was a definite yes.
So if folks are coming out there, which we sure hope they do, what kinds of activities and fun can they expect and learning if they head to the Solve Energy exhibit area?
So we're excited to be on the Sun Deck this year, which is a perfect tie-in to what we do. You'll enter under the Good Energy Arch and find 3 activities to generate, get, and give good energy. We have over 20 Solve Energy team members excited to engage with the kids and answer any questions about solar or Solve Energy. Our Generate Good Energy station will feature our mini solar car that kids can build and race on one of our raceway tables, or play our renewable energy Jenga game and learn some sun facts. Our Get Good Energy station will feature Goal Zero solar panels and batteries. Kids can see solar panels and batteries in action, collecting the sun's rays and turning it into power that is stored in a battery. Anyone can stop by and charge their phones on our solar charged batteries. We also have a fun animated video that explains how utility scale solar power plants are built and how they transmit grid power to your home or business. Our Give Good Energy station is a really special station that represents an important community to us at Solve Energy. For the past 4 years, we've worked in the Navajo Nation supporting schools and installing 50 to 400 watt residential scale solar power plants as part of our Skip the Grid project. 2 of our core nonprofit partners, SEI and Heart of America, will join us at our Power Up Education Packing Station, assisting guests to pack up 1,000 Power Up education backpacks filled with various school supplies that will be sent to elementary schools in the Navajo Nation, where approximately 60,000 people live without power or water. We will also have a really special guest, Milo Fowler, who is also Navajo and a National Geographic photographer.
So why is it so important for young people to get involved in all these activities?
So STEAM education stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We believe that STEAM empowers an inclusive learning environment that encourages all students to participate and contribute. Through these team building experiences, they can share new ideas, create solutions in a fun and engaging environment where everyone's ideas matter, explore their 5 pathways, and find what they're interested in, or maybe spark a new curiosity.
Wow. And maybe work for you someday. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. Where can viewers get more information about Solve Energy and about the San Diego Festival of Engineering and Science?
So we're very active on social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You'll see pictures of our projects, hear from our team members, and learn more about our DEI and community outreach efforts. And of course, on our website at solveenergy.com. We have a tab on our website called Good Energy that provides even more detail about our community relations and sustainability programs. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that we just launched our Power Up Scholarship, available to all high school seniors. 6 $1,500 awards will be given to students who write a short essay around their passion for renewable energy and why it matters. Please visit our website to learn more about that educational opportunity, and please apply.
Absolutely. Great information. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing about it today.
Thank you so much for having me. We look forward to seeing everyone out at the festival in a couple weeks.
You bet. All right, coming up, Nick Raybar's recipe for cowboy stew.
Yum, yum. Welcome back, everyone. Spring is on the horizon, but it is still pretty cold in many parts of the country, right where I am in Rhode Island. And that means it's still soup weather.
Absolutely. The best part about it is maybe you're feeling like some hearty stew.
In single-digit Nebraska, yes, stew, please, now. Nick Raybar with Avenue N American Kitchen in Providence, Rhode Island, is sharing his delicious and easy recipe for cowboy stew.
So while some of the ingredients of this particular type of stew might be unique to it, the technique is still very much the same. So we're gonna get started by putting in a little bit of oil and some chopped onion. Now some large diced poblano pepper. That is on the very much the lower side of the heat spectrum. Very, very mild. But again, cut a little bit larger for the stew. Now once those peppers and onions start to break down, we're gonna go in with some chopped garlic. Not too soon on a chopped garlic. That might burn before the peppers and onions are ready. Quick saute on the garlic. I'm gonna go in with some corn. This is just freshly shucked off the cob. Give it a quick stir. And then we're gonna go in with some tomato. Now tomato has a lot of moisture, so that's gonna release into this, and it's gonna slow the caramelization process. So you buy yourself a little bit of time. Give it a quick mix. Let's give it a quick season. Let's go in with some fresh cracked pepper. Let's go in with some kosher salt. And now we're gonna remove all of these vegetables from in here so that when we add liquid and steak and meat and everything delicious for this stew, these don't overcook and turn to mush. Let's start to go in with some meat. I've got some ground beef here. Typically with stews, you would see tougher cuts of meat, things that need to break down for a while. But this is a quick stew, so you can move it right along. Now I've got some chopped up ribeye, which is gonna add a massive amount of flavor. Now this does need to break down a little bit, but I cut it in super small pieces, so even the 20-30 minutes you're gonna let this simmer is gonna take care of business. Of course, you gotta season as you go. A little salt, a little pepper, the more the merrier. And then we're gonna let that simmer for about 5 to 8 minutes until everything is pretty much cooked through. Once those are cooked through, we're gonna go in with some sausage. I'm using kielbasa. Believe it or not, kielbasa is very common when you're doing cowboy stew. It's a cooked, smoked sausage, but we still wanna brown it. We still wanna render it, get all that fat and smoke and flavor in there. As if there's not enough in there, we're gonna go with some bacon, all right? That is smoky, and you gotta have a little bit more pork in there, so why not let it be bacon? Now, I kind of par-cooked the bacon. When you're stewing, you want everything to complete at the same time. So sometimes, you can do a little pre-cook like I did on the bacon. Okay, now that we've seen a lot of the solid ingredients, we've got to start to go with a little bit of wet ingredients. So I'm gonna put some crushed tomato in here. Let that tomato even caramelize just a little bit. We want a nice dark stew here. Now, we don't want it to be too thick, so we're gonna loosen that up with some broth. I'm using chicken broth, which I think is nice and neutral. Now be careful, because you don't want it to be too thin. Stews are, by nature, very, very hearty. Now, we don't want this to taste like tomato sauce, red sauce, but we gotta add some flavors that are gonna bring it down to the south. So I'm gonna go in with some cumin. I love cumin. Use a little bit more than you even think you're gonna need. Now, smoked paprika. Very, very, very critical ingredient here. Don't get hot smoked paprika, because you don't want it to be too spicy. Just a little smoked paprika is gonna go a long way. Okay, one of the stars of the show, a little bit more smoke. We're putting in chopped chipotle peppers. If you're breaking out the can, which I highly recommend using the canned chipotle peppers, you want maybe 1, 2 peppers most, depending on how much you like your heat. All right, let's mix in those spices. Now, it still has a little bit of a red color to it, and we've put in a lot of heat. To balance that, we're gonna go in with some sweet. So I've got some brown sugar. You can see that there's a lot of liquid in here, so let's start to go back in with our vegetables. We have those caramelized poblano peppers, onions, tomato, corn, garlic, big flavor. Now, I've got some beans. I'm putting in some white beans here. You can use any kind of bean you want. Black-eyed pea would work, pinto beans would work, but I'm going in with some white beans. Little beans in this cowboy stew. And no stew is complete without potatoes. So I've got some Yukon Golds right here. I par-cooked these. We were talking a little bit before about the bacon being par-cooked, potatoes par-cooked, salted water. Give it a little last-minute seasoning, a little more salt. Salt is critical. We got to keep enhancing these flavors. Pepper, critical. Adds a little bit of spice. Mix it up. Gonna let it simmer just for a minute, and since everything in here is pretty much cooked, and I always love to add a fresh element, I'm gonna go with some green onion. So fresh green onion on the finish. That is gonna add a little bit of bite, a little bit of zip, a little bit of color. Mix it up, grab your ladle, and boom, there's your cowboy stew.
Valerie, on behalf of all of us not in Rhode Island, please go enjoy and report back.
I cannot wait. Who knew? Cowboys right here in Rhode Island.
Wow. And I'm from Texas, so this was definitely something I could relate to as well. And you may also be able to relate to it too. So you can find more recipes from Chef Nick online at avenueinprovidence.com.
And up next, what we all want to know is whether or not the next Mrs. Nebraska is right here. Stay with us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. I can honestly say we all love our job here as hosts, and we have plenty of hosts here on the show of Main Street Living, but we spend the rest of the week, a lot of us spend the rest of the week doing other things. Like, for instance, I'm a barber, a licensed professional barber, as well as I make people laugh as a professional stand-up comic. Danielle, our other original host, she's a personal trainer, and she works for the VSiN Sports Betting Network as well. And then we have Valerie. I know, Valerie, you run a nonprofit in Rhode Island called Black Storytellers Organization, right?
That's right. The Rhode Island Black Storytellers, otherwise known as RIBS. And as we're talking about what people do, Cheryl runs a preparedness company, Prepare with Share. Love that. And Tom hosts the Driven series right here on Your View. And Brandy, you work in communications, but what I really want to hear more about is one of your extracurricular activities right now, because I understand that you are preparing to compete in the Mrs. Nebraska pageant.
This is correct. Yes, April 29th coming up in Kearney, Nebraska. So been preparing for a couple of months now and getting very excited. Just a few 9-ish weeks away.
Hold up. So you said you've only been preparing for a couple of months. Really? It only takes a couple of months to be Miss Nebraska?
Well, I mean, hey, we have incredible women in our state, Quincy. What can I say? I hope to meet some of these awesome women coming up. About 13 of us are going to be competing for this.
Wow.
But, you know, a lot of the things that you do to prepare, I've kind of been doing already because I love it. Volunteering in my community, emceeing for different events, really focusing on my personal development and physical fitness and nutrition. Those would all be things I would be doing anyway. This just kind of ups the ante a little bit and gives me a finish line, if you will, to really focus on, nope, I'm going to make better decisions today. Yes, I'm going to give more of myself to my community because I've committed to doing this thing.
Wow. I had no idea that those were the kinds of things that you do for preparation. But I am curious, why did you want to take on this challenge?
So I just turned 42 years old, and I have been so lucky to have had a number of incredible experiences and careers. I spent 15 years in broadcast news. I've interviewed a sitting president. I've interviewed music stars and Olympians and major news events. And as part of that, I got to MC Omaha Fashion Week. I traveled with the Huskers football team. I've done some really cool things. So when I retired, if you will, from TV news and shifted to kind of a more backseat position in communications and in schools, which I do now, you know, there was a little bit of me that kind of missed those opportunities. And it's really easy, I think, for moms everywhere, for parents everywhere, that you fall into your roles as I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a communications director, I'm a professional. But who are you? Who is you? Who is you as a person aside from all those roles? And I had actually emceed Mrs. Nebraska several times, and I heard one of the title holders say, I did this just for me. And that really resonated with me that, you know, I was kind of maybe losing myself in all of these different roles and who was I? And this has given me something to focus on. What do I want to go before this panel of judges? And if I am blessed to win this before my entire state and say, who am I? And more importantly, what message can I give to other moms, 42-year-olds, parents out there that have also kind of lost their direction themselves? That's what I hope to do. So
well, you were talking about like, you know, if you happen to win, let's start with when you win, right?
Oh, thanks, Quincy.
But what does that actually mean to win? I mean, is it bragging rights? Is it social media blow up? I mean,
so many bragging rights. I would go on to compete at Mrs. America representing Nebraska and just continue what I'm doing, representing local business and everything our incredible state and country have to offer with these great stories, and hopefully inspiring others to do what gives you joy, spread more kindness, just do you and put it out there and enjoy life.
You are awesome. We're glad we have you on the show, and we know you. Nice.
Yes, we're going to say, we know her, Mrs. Nebraska.
Much love. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, Brandy. We can't wait to say Mrs. Nebraska is here with us. And when we come back, we want to know, are there any curlers out there? And we're not talking about your hair.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. You know, every time the Olympics rolls around, which I love, there are always a few sports that really seem to attract a lot of attention. And sometimes, maybe I'm not alone, you may wonder, does anyone really play this sport except in the Olympics?
Well, actually, one such sport that might come to mind, curling. And the answer is most definitely yes. A big yes. See, there are leagues of curlers all around the country.
If you even knew that. I mean, I am learning so much because right here in Rhode Island, curling is a big deal. And as you'll see in this championship round for the Ocean State Curling Club, take a look.
I'm Brienne Strauss, and we are at the Smithfield Ice Rink, and we are with the Ocean State Curling Club.
So right now we're in our Thursday league. It's a mix of people who have been curling for a year, and some of the curlers have been doing this for 12 years. So tonight's our championship game. Top two teams, Team Frechette and Team Walsh, are playing off for the honor to get our gold pins from the club.
Well, the first time we played them, it was, if I remember, a pretty big gap in the score.
The other team's really good. We've played them before and they crushed us. We played well the last couple of weeks and pulled out a really good win last week.
Usually at least one of them come down to the championship every season or every session.
I mean, we always hope to win, but win or lose, it's a fun time.
It's going to be a fun game.
Part of me is rooting a little bit for Gordon tonight, I have to be honest. Gordon has been a member of the club for about 12 years and has never won the championship, so I'm hoping this is his elusive one.
I'm going to say Don. Yeah, Team Frechette is probably going to be the winner tonight. May the best skip win, I guess.
So what's great about curling really is that anyone can do it. You know, an example is for me, I herniated a disc in my lower back last summer and I came back to curling and I was able to still participate using a stick to hold the stone rather than having to squat down and deliver that way. There are wheelchair curlers who could do it. Our oldest member, Frank, is 81. We've had him as young as 16, so you could do it, a timeless game. So our leagues vary in length every year. This year we have an 8-week league, so you sign up, you get assigned to a team. Most people do join as a single or as a couple. You come to one of our Learn to Curls, you spend 2 hours learning what you can about the sport, and then you come and join one of our leagues. If you don't have time to commit to a full league, you could sign up as a social member and curl when you have time and somebody needs a sub. So you don't have to be able to commit to the whole entire league in order to compete. Yeah, so it was a pretty exciting championship game. They were going back and forth in the first couple ends. And then Don's team had a big end, he got 4, and then Gordon creeped back.
So we were down 2 points, 2 stones in the last end, and we managed with all that pile of stones down there. We ended up tying it.
And on the last stone, tied it up. Because we didn't have more time, they have to do what's called a draw to the button. One person throws a stone, their team can sweep it, the other team can't sweep, and whoever stone was closer wins the game. It's kind of our version of penalty kicks from soccer.
I kind of felt good going first and put the pressure on the other team and it worked out great. I wasn't nervous. It was like, we've already played a great game.
But it came down to the very end, tie game, and it was so close.
Gordon threw his folks swept it perfectly, like as good a sweeping as they could have done, got it to where they wanted to.
Gordon was within inches of the center. I threw mine down, it was on the line to go to the center.
And Don's wound up being probably about 12 or 18. They were both really close, good shots.
Just was too short and it didn't make it. But that's how close of a game it was.
It was an absolutely tremendous ending. I don't think anybody could have hoped for better tonight.
Kind of what you dream of.
It was a great game. I'm proud of Gordon for winning his first championship. Don's won one before. That's not to say he didn't deserve to win, but it's kind of an exciting end, and I'm sure they'll both bring it into the next season, which starts next week.
Wow. I don't know if I heard this right, but they said 2 hours. It takes 2 hours to kind of teach you how you do it, and then they just kind of throw you out there. I just know my knees aren't built for that.
No, me neither. And that's why I would be the one that just yells at everyone in the back. Yeah, to find
yes, exactly.
That would be my job. Yes. All right. Well, if you'd like to learn more about actual curling, not the yelling, you can find more information and the Ocean State Curling Club on their website, oceanstatecurling.org.
All right, guys, straight ahead. There's still more of Main Street Living. Stay right there.
Welcome back. All right, I've got my game plan. I'm going to work on curling training and get that into my training regime the next couple of weeks.
That and some good rest on a good pillow sounds really good to me with a good meal. Huh?
That's right, guys. There's so much information. If you missed it, you can catch this and much more of our other shows on our Cox Contour app. All right, along with so many other things. And of course, we can't wait to see you guys back again for another exciting show as we take a walk on the main street. You guys stay safe. Take care.